started. And I'm just going to introduce the show real quick. So welcome to the Empowered Living Show. My name is Lisa Mizels, and I am the founder of Femana. It's a women's wellness company. And I started this video show because one of the things that I absolutely have always done my whole life and love to do is help people feel empowered, especially women. And what's funny is that we all have these parts of us that we hide because we think they're so different from everybody else. And so this show is about kind of just showing people that we all have these commonalities, and it's from our experiences that we actually become into who we're supposed to be here on this earth, what I believe. And so, and in fact, that's kind of, we're going to be talking a little bit about that today, about our story and how our experiences, I don't know what you're going to talk about, Terriane. We're going to find out. So I have my guests come on and they talk about how they became empowered and how they help other women become empowered through their gifts, through what they do with their work. And so, it's been really fun so far, and I'm really excited today because we have Terriane Palmer Peacock, and she's coming all the way from Australia. So welcome, Terriane. Today we're going to be talking. She's going to be talking about how to be the leading lady in the story of your life, and she's going to tell us why women entrepreneurs feel stressed and overwhelmed. And she's going to tell us about the 2 critical factors that you need in order to guarantee a successful future. And then she's also going to be talking about a powerful 7-word statement that instantly gives meaning to your life. I'm really excited to hear what that is. I've got my paper and my pen, so I'm ready for that. But before we start, let me just tell you a little bit about Terriane. She's an author, a coach, an international speaker, and a trainer. And through her coaching programs, online courses, and live workshops, she helps women entrepreneurs consistently step forward and up in their life. And by sharing with them the tools and processes necessary to create stability and structure across 6 core pillars of life. So I hope you're going to talk about those today. She's well known for saying, if you can tell me what you want, I'll show you how to get it. So welcome, Terriane.
Thank you, Lisa. It's an absolute pleasure to be here, and I'm really excited to be chatting with you guys on this radio podcast. This is awesome.
Yeah, I am very excited that you're here too. So let's just start by tell us what you mean when you say the story of your life.
Okay. So if we think about our lives, we all have a story to tell. So we all have experiences that make up who we are today. But the way that I like to look at it is that the story that we have up until today, it's the past. It's not who we are. It's the story that's already been told. It's already been published. It's like the movie that's no longer a new release. Okay, it's now in the rental section, so to speak. Okay, it's already been passed off. So what I like to get people to focus on is the story or the movie that they're creating right now. It's in production right now, because that's the one that we're all hoping is going to be the next blockbuster, is going to be the greatest success, and quite frankly, it's the only one that really matters. So it's about letting go of the story of the past and really only focusing on, well, what's the story that we're writing or we're currently in production now, because that's the one that we've got control over as far as what we want to achieve.
Yes, I love that. I love that. I mean, it's true, because the past is the past, right? And even though that shapes who we are, we have the ability to choose who we want to become at any moment.
That's right. Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
So,
yeah.
So you mentioned that there's 2 critical factors to guarantee a successful future. Tell us about those.
Sure. Okay. So there's 2 things that I like to think of. And I use this whole movie or story analogy because everybody's gone to the movies. Everybody understands it and they kind of understand what it's all about. And so it's just a different way of looking at things. But there's 2 things that I say that people need to really decide upon from this point forward. And the first thing is whether or not they're prepared to create a movie that's worth living. Right? That's the first thing. The second thing is, what roles are you prepared, or are you going to decide that you want to play in the creation of your movie? Because there's lots of different roles that will show up in the story of your life. So the biggest problem that I see with most women nowadays is that they cast themselves as the actor or the actress in the movie. And here's the problem with that. The actor or the actress has very little say about what they get to do or don't do. They're directed by the director or the makeup people or the wardrobe people, whatever, in the movie. In real life, what we're talking about is, this is a woman who's dictated to by her environment, like where she's living, what she's doing. She's dictated to by her work, by her boss, by her husband or her partner. She's typically even dictated to by her kids, and sometimes even her animals. Even the animals, are higher in the pecking order than what she is. Yeah. And so she's taking all this direction and she's doing the best that she can with what she's got. But at the end of the day, she's like a puppet to everyone else in her life, and she has no control over her own life. And typically, especially as we're getting, past our 30s into our 40s and 50s and beyond, it's like we've lost who we are, or they lose who they are because they're so busy being the actor or actress in these stories that are not of their choosing. So this is probably one of the common things that I see with women entrepreneurs. If you're both nodding your head. Yeah.
Well, I think women in general, right?
Yes, 100%. 100%. They're so busy. I think it's a character thing that we have. We're so busy looking after everyone else in our lives and making sure everyone else's needs are being met, they're happy, that we stop living for ourselves and we forget about our dreams. They go on the back burner. We forget about what lights us up. And eventually, if we do that over a number of years, it just becomes too hard to go back and find out what that is. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's like going on that hamster wheel and not getting anywhere and just doing it over and over again. I remember being on that hamster wheel and just being so tired. All I wanted to do was, just make sure I took care of everybody else and then, get to bed and then get up and do it all over again. And I think there's a lot of women that do that and they don't have that fire inside them anymore. There's it's gone. They don't feel fully alive.
Yeah, that's right. And a lot of the time is, actually, I'll share a story with you that I share often from the platform when I'm teaching in presentations, because it's one that really hits home with some people. And it's a time when I was in Vegas. I was at a training. So I think I mentioned to you before, Lisa, I used to work for an American trainer, and we used to travel all around the world teaching leadership and wealth and NLP mastery type programs. And so we had a trainer's training in Vegas. Now, who doesn't love Vegas? I love going to Vegas. It was my first trip to Vegas. So I was in my early 30s, first time I'd ever been to Vegas. And at the time, now I'm showing my age here, Celine Dion, now I know she's back in Vegas now, I just saw the other day, but it was when she was doing her last tour there, and it was her last week of being at Caesar's Palace. And so her last week of shows, and I've never been to shows in Vegas before, so I was so excited to go. And thankfully, one of the other trainers enjoyed Celine Dion as well, so we said, all right, let's go on a date together. Now he's gay, my husband was at home, so it was a good date for me. So we went to Celine Dion and we sat through this concert that was just phenomenal. Now, as phenomenal as Celine was on stage, because the show itself was just magnificent and her voice is just, I think, magical.
Yeah.
But for me, it was the dancing. Mia Michaels was the choreographer, and the show with the dancing was just breathtakingly awesome. And I came out of the show, there were moments in that I just lost my breath watching this show. So I came out that night, I was all so excited. And I was walking, I went to bed that night, got up the next morning, and I was walking from my hotel to the hotel where we were doing the training. And it was like a truck went past me, I got this breath of fresh air, and it hit me like a 10-ton truck. It was like somebody had punched me in the stomach as hard as they possibly could. I was doubled over in pain. And I just burst into tears, absolutely burst into tears. And it was because at that moment, I realized when I was a teenager, I wanted to be a dancer. And I started late. I was 14 years old. I only did jazz. I didn't do any of the ballet training or anything else like that. But I had talent. And my dance teacher said to me, "You're very gifted." So when I was 18 years old, I'd just finished high school. I applied for university, and there was auditions for the New Zealand School of Dance. So if anyone doesn't know me, I'm actually from New Zealand. I live in Australia, but I'm from New Zealand.
Okay.
I'm a Kiwi.
Awesome.
And so this New Zealand School of Dance took 12 people a year. That's all they took in the whole academy. So I went up to this audition, and I thought, oh, what the hell? What have I got to lose? And I performed this audition, and here I am, and I always remember looking back, because here I am against all these amazing dancers, these beautiful ballerinas, and we had to do split leaps across the floor, and honestly, I was like the elephant in the room. There's these graceful girls, and I was just hopeless. We had contemporary, and we didn't have shows like So You Think You Can Dance like you have nowadays. We didn't have those back then. Yeah. And so we had to do contemporary, and thank God there's this beautiful soul of a man who was a contemporary dancer who I was paired with, and he said, look, he got me out of my head and said, look, just feel the music. And I remember saying, you've got to be a tree, and I don't know what it was, being a tree. Anyway, so long story short, I didn't think I had a chance after going to that audition. And about 2 weeks later, I got two things in the mail. The first one was my acceptance to university to do a business management and accountancy degree. The second one was acceptance to the Dance Academy. Out of 800 auditions, I got chosen as one of the 12. Now, even now, that brings up emotions for me. But the thing for me is I remember thinking, what do I do? I've got dancing, which was my passion. I just loved it. Or I've got accountancy and a business degree. And the thing for me, it wasn't, it's like, what do I do? And I asked everybody around me at the time, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Every single person told me to go get my degree. I can always come back to dancing. Now, anyone who knows dancing, you can't come back 4 years. You're 18 years old and you're going to be 22, 23 years old. You can't do that. The dancing option, I was going to have to support myself because it wasn't funded by any government programs or anything like that. So I had to pay for the course. I'd have to support myself. It was going to be a tough road. But in hindsight, I recognised I was the type of person that I'd do whatever it took to get what I wanted. It wouldn't have been a problem. I was always successful at everything that I went at. So I would have been one of the successful ones in my dancing career. But it was the reason that it doubled me over was because it was a critical moment in my life that I realised that was a turning point in my life, that I gave up on my dreams. Yeah. And I gave up on my dreams because nobody else supported me. I didn't have one single person support me. And I remember thinking, if I just had that one person, I probably would have gone for it. But I didn't have that one person, and I didn't have the confidence in myself to be able to trust myself to go after that dream. So I remember in that moment that I drew a line in the sand that day, and I remember saying that's kind of what catapulted my career to what I'm doing now, is that I gave up on my dreams. I'm committing now to never do that again, and as long as I live, to not allow anyone else around me to do that either. I'll be that one person for as many people as I can.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and so that's kind of what drives me with what I do now, is to make sure that nobody gives up on their dreams. It doesn't matter what they are. You've got to go after them. You've got to draw it down in the sand. And Lisa Nichols made a wonderful comment. I remember listening to her on stage. She said, if nobody else supports you in your dream, that's okay, because they can't see what you can see. It's not their dream. You're the one with the dream. You're the one who sees it. So it doesn't matter if no one else supports you. What they will support you in is how much you believe in your dream. So that's all you've got to do, is believe in your dream.
Yes. And that's so true. I've seen that in my own life.
Yeah.
It's, you have this vision, and you maybe you even can't see the whole total thing, but there's something guiding you. That's what you need to be doing. And the people around you, like my family, they're like, what are you doing? You have this great career, you're just, this director, leader person. And why would you want to do this? It's like, but when they see me working hard and when they see my clients getting results, they're like, oh, well, cool. Maybe this is something, and I think it just, but it's hard for us not to need to feel validated. And I think that's the whole point, is we shouldn't have to need to feel validated.
That's right. It takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of courage to go against what everybody else is saying and go after what you want.
Yeah. But how many times have you had those little things that keep coming up? For me, dancing lately has been, it's like, you know, it feels good. It's fun. It makes me, you know, and so I just turn on my music in the morning and dance, and that satisfies me. I don't need to be on stage or do a class or anything, but it's like those little things that keep kind of bugging you, that are in the back of your mind, but that always keep coming up. Those are the things you need to listen to, right?
Yes, 100%, 100%. Those are the things that make the difference and bring you back to what's really important to you. Because that's when you feel like you're truly living. It doesn't matter what it is. And that's what we're all searching for. That's what we want in our lives. That's what gives us that meaning.
Yeah. And it's hard to listen when there's so much, like when you were saying you're in your head, it's hard to listen when there's so much of our society isn't intuitive, I guess. Like they're not used to listening to their own inner guidance.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Yeah, I totally agree with that. And that'll be a reason why I see we turn off the television, we really have the radio, we really have mainstream media on, because it doesn't inspire us to be the people that we want to be. It doesn't inspire us to go out and live our dreams. It's telling us constantly, we're being barraged constantly on the things that we can't do. And so I choose not to have that in our environment. There's some things people say, what, have you been hiding under a rock? I'm going, well, yeah, a little bit. I'm okay with that though. It's like, okay, give me the quick 5-minute update. Cool, right, I'm updated. That's all I need. So
that's what I say. 5 minutes. You got 5 minutes to tell me about politics or whatever.
Exactly. That's all we need.
2 to 5 minutes. Wow. So you mentioned that the person who's creating the story should feel like it's worth living. How else would you say that people would know that they are creating something worth living? What does it
look like?
Yeah. How do you figure that?
Okay. So let's go back to the story then. Yeah. So the movie that we're creating here. So to me, I think Earl Nightingale defines success in this way. And he talks about, and these are the 7 words, I'm going to tell you to write them down very soon, but a life worth living is one that is progressively realizing a worthy ideal. Right? And that's Earl Nightingale's definition of success. So these are the 7 words that will change your life.
Okay.
The progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Those are 7 words, but it's really 4 words that make up the key points in that. Progressive realization of a worthy ideal. And when I'm talking about worthy ideal, I'm not talking about a goal. So like a goal is, I want to update my car, or I want to go on a holiday, or, I want to dream home. They're all goals of things that we want to have.
Yeah.
But they don't get us out of bed on a cold winter's morning when we're tired or not feeling very well. They don't get us out of bed, or should I say, they don't give us that drive or that push when those obstacles come up or when we're faced with those challenges. It's really easy to go and do everything else when that's the only goal we have. A worthy ideal is that thing that just drives us, that motivates us, like me not wanting anybody to ever give up on their dream. And if I'm that one person for them that gives them that courage to go after it, me, that's my worthy ideal. Like that's my ideal that I hold to, going that, I can change the world. I can make a difference, even if it's just one person at a time. So for me, that gets me out of bed. And when I think, I don't want to write this new program, or I don't want to, do this social media stuff, I'm remembering, well, there's a whole heap of people who might be giving up on their dreams if I don't do this. And so for me, that worthy ideal is that thing that's bigger than you, but that just is like the rocket that's continually sitting on your backside, pushing you forward, not letting you stop doing what you're doing. So let me break down those 4 words. I think that's what will really make a difference to people on why those 4 words, 7 words, 4 words, will change your life.
The 4 important ones.
Yeah, the 4 important ones. That's it. That's it. Instead of the others. So progressive. How Earl Nightingale describes progressive is it's continuously moving forward and upward in your life. If you think about most people's life journeys, they'll have a breakthrough or they'll get to their next level of life and then they plateau. It's like, oh, cool, I got here. Whew, and they break off and and they'll cruise along. Most people will actually come down a little bit, and then they'll get to a point where they're uncomfortable again or they're dissatisfied again, and then they'll go again. Progressive, though, is continuously moving forward and upward. So it's not allowing yourself to plateau. It's to continually increase that level of conscious awareness that you have. It's continuously going after that goal. It's continuously taking those steps forward towards that dream. So it's not allowing yourself to stop and plateau or even dip down. It's about continuously moving forward. So that's what we mean by progressive. Now, realization relates to a person's conscious awareness. So we need to be aware of our worthy ideal moving into physical form, because if we're not aware of it, we're not even going to recognize it when it comes.
Right.
So, an example of that, what I mean by that is, so we bought our home that we're in now a couple of years ago. But funny story, when I first walked into the house, the first viewing, I walked into the home, I walked straight around, walked straight out and went, nah, not for me. About 3 months later, 2 lost options, 100 weekends and houses that we'd looked at, and just a whole misery of things. My husband said to me, the house is still on the market. Would you please come back and have another look at it? It was about 2 months later. I went to the houses, but this time I took my my list of my ideal house. So I had my picture of exactly what I wanted, all the things that I wanted in the house. And I walked through the house again. And I realized as I looked at my list, I could tick off every single thing that was on me. Every single thing. And I looked at my husband and I went, okay. Because my thing was, I was like, it's red brick and it's 4-bedroom. It's only my 7-year-old son and my husband and I. We don't really need a bigger house, but I wanted a bigger house. Yeah. And so, but when I looked at my list, it had everything. It was on the water. It had outdoor. It had pool. It had, all the bits and pieces that we wanted. And the funny thing was so I said, all right, let's do it. So right then and there, we put the offer in. Within an hour, we were the owners of the home. It was that easy. The offer that we put through was accepted straight away, and the paperwork was done within that night. It was the quickest and easiest thing we'd ever done. And so that's what we mean by realization, is sometimes you're presented with what you've asked for, but if you don't have that conscious awareness to recognize it, to be able to receive it.
Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah. Yes. And I think like when you were saying, when you walked into the home and you said, no, it's not for you. Sometimes it's because you can't put yourself in the future. You can't picture yourself in the future.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
And this actually comes to the next word too. And this might clear up why some people don't get that piece, which is the worthy, the part that's worthy. And I used to struggle with this one. I used to get stuck on this particular part of the equation here because I never felt worthy or good enough for the goals that I wanted to achieve. I'm not good enough to have that. I can't have that amount of money because I'm not good enough for that amount of money or whatever it happens to be. And I'm sure everybody listening has had those times in their life or have experienced it where, they've set this big outrageous goal that their coach or their, presenter has told them, you've got to, set these amazing goals that are way out there, but their doubts are our doubts and our disempowering beliefs and all our conditioning and everything that's in our head. It makes us believe that it's not possible for us.
Right.
What I discovered is that in looking at this formula, it's not about me being worthy for the goal. Is a goal worthy of me? Because if I'm going to go after this goal, if I'm going to go after this ideal that I want, I'm trading my time and my energy for it. Essentially, I'm trading my life for it.
Right.
So it has to be worthy of me. And so when I'm working with my coaching clients in that nowadays, we set goals, and I say to them, we set worthy ideals rather than goals. And I say, well, it's got to be something that you're prepared to give your life for, because essentially that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing. And, when you ask a lot of people, I said, okay, so would you give up your life in order to have that? Most people will say no. Most people say no. And it's only when you can find that. Like I know if I've got this, and I can see a line of people that I've helped go after their dreams. I can see a line of people who with us working together, they've managed to light up who they are and go out, figure out what it is that they want and then go after it. If I'm lying on my deathbed and I look back and say, I did all of that, was that worth my life? I honestly, right now, can say, yes, it is. I made that difference and my life was worth something. And so that's what we've got to look at is change. Am I worthy for the goal? Is the goal worthy of me and my life?
Yeah.
And I think that's a really powerful part of it. Yeah. And then the last part is ideal. I can see pennies going. It's like I can't say this. I can see light bulbs going off. Little things going off and think, what is here?
Yeah, no, I love this. Yeah.
The last one is ideal. Okay, so James Allen in his book As a Man Thinketh. If you haven't read it, it's a wonderful book to read.
What is it called?
As a Man Thinketh.
Okay.
By James Allen. I keep a copy beside me all the time. It's a teeny weeny little book.
Okay.
And it's a little read, but it's a fabulous, fabulous book to read because it really does sum up a lot of the things that I'm talking about here as well.
Great.
And he describes ideal as an idea that you fall in love with. An idea that you fall in love with. Now, here's how I like to describe it. So you imagine, if everyone who's listening to this right now, and you guys imagine, and you as well, Lisa, remember the first time that you fell in love. That first person that you fell in love with, right? We all have had that moment where we remember that person, right? The question that I have for you is, did you have to be reminded to think about that person? Like, did you have to put a Post-it note on your desk and that say, oh, I wonder what he's doing today, or what she's doing today? You don't have to think about your first, when you were in love that first time, you didn't have to think about them because they were always on their mind. They were the face that you were dreaming about before you went to sleep, and when you woke up in the morning, they're the first person you thought about in the morning. Because you were in love with them. You were constantly wondering, oh, I wonder what they're up to. I wonder what they're doing. Oh, are they thinking about me? Oh, I really love it how they do this and that. And I don't know about you guys, but that's what I was like my first time, right? So,
yes.
About things. You're in love. You're thinking about them. Yeah. So your worthy ideal is an idea that you can fall in love with. Not something that you force yourself to think about. You just are thinking about it all the time. Yeah. So the 7 words that will change your life is that you want to make sure that you can have something that is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. You want to create a life worth living or a story that includes that progressive realization of a worthy ideal. And if you can do that, your entire life will change.
I love that. Now, what if somebody says to you, I can't think of anything? I mean, this is, first of all, this is so much better than what's your why. This is so much better than
right, exactly.
But if you can't think of something, how do you prompt them to figure out what it is that is something worth your life for?
You start with, what do you love to do?
Yeah.
What do you love to do? And if and to be honest, a lot of women nowadays can't remember what it is that they love to do. They are so far removed from who they are as a person that they can't remember what it is that they used to have a passion for, that they used to love spending time for. So, the ones that are really stuck, I get them to say, look, just start remembering what it is that you used to love to do. Mm-hmm. What is it that brings you joy? What is it that makes you happy, that gives you those belly laughs, or that just gives you those moments of just complete and utter satisfaction? What are all those moments? And it's just about, it's an unfolding process. My partner Douglas, my husband Douglas, his motto in life is to remember who you are. That's it. That's all he teaches people, is how to remember who you are.
Oh, that's beautiful.
It's very much that point. Now, when I first learnt this, when I first sat down and wrote my worthy ideal, it took me 9 months.
Wow.
9 months, every day. I started with something. So the thing that I say to people is, you start with something and you write down just what's all the things you love to do, what's the things that bring you joy, because things would have changed. Like, I love dancing, but I'm not going to go out and dance anymore. Like that ship has passed, although I am putting mirrors. I said to my husband, I want to put mirrors in the lounge room and I'm going to dance to myself. We're in front of, go back to the hairbrush and no one else is looking, and I've got the YouTube videos up and it's just me. I'm happy with that dancing nowadays. So it's about finding those things that bring you joy, and it will unfold for you. So it doesn't necessarily, you may not get that straight away, but I know when I wrote this out and I started working on this I wrote down what I thought it was at the start. And I wrote it down every single day. Every single day. And every single day as I went through, I went, you know what? As I was changing and evolving, and I'm big on continuous study. I would do study every single day on myself. I'm always working on myself to see how I can be better, how I can improve who I am. And so as I was unfolding more of myself and remembering more of who I was, I found that I would tweak a word here and there. Or you know what? It's not actually that line. It's this line. And so by the end of that 9-month period, I came up with a statement that just felt so me. And it's interesting, even in this last week, I've changed it again. So we're kind of like 3 or 4 years down the track now, and my progress, my worthy ideal, it's still in the same essence, but it's continually evolving and changing as I continually evolve and change.
And that's okay.
And that's okay.
100%. That's what we do. It's just that you have something, because that's like your guiding light.
Yes. Yeah. I'll tell you another thing to look at is writing the story of their life. So I'm going to kind of jump into this. When I talk about people writing the story of their life, this sometimes helps them try and get into that right vein of what it is that they want to do. So I say there's 3 parts to writing any good story. You need a genre and what it's going to be about. You need to know who's going to be in it. And you need to know your plot, which is your worthy ideal. Even if it's just your worthy ideal for now, that's fine too. So the first one is the genre. So if you look at your story of your life, so remember I'm talking about your story here, is the genre is the thing that I like to say to people is most people say, okay, my life, I want it to be easy. And they're trying to make, they're doing everything they can in their lives to make their lives easier. But the question that I then ask people is say, well, if you went to the movie and had to watch this movie, if you went to the theatres and had to watch this movie, would you want to watch a movie that was easy? Is that a good story? Is it engaging, or is it repetitive and boring? And sometimes for some people, is it absolutely exhausting to watch, that you just don't want to watch it anymore because you're just tired watching them in this movie? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So this is a common trait. When they write the story of their life, they think they want it to be easy, they want it to run smoothly, and they want everything to happen effortlessly. But that's not the way it should be. That's not what life was all about. No one wants to watch a movie like that. No one, to be honest, wants to be in one like that, because it's not fulfilling. So the first thing I say is stop trying to make out that you want your life to be easy, because we don't. We don't want it to be easy. We want to have adventures. I don't know about you, but I like to have adventures.
Yes.
I want my life story to be exciting. I want it to be engaging. I like to have romance. I kind of missed out on that one with my husband, but I got everything else, so I'm okay with that. So I watched The Bachelor for my romance. So you want challenges in that. And if you think about it, the best stories that we go to the movies and watch, they never have anything go according to plan. There's always something that goes wrong. There's always there's a hiccup in that. So what makes our story a good story is going after what we want in spite of the challenges and the obstacles and everything else along the way. So what I say to people is write down. In fact, everyone who's listening on the call right now so think about, what genre do you want your story of your life to be? Is it romance? Is it adventure? Maybe it's a mystery, maybe it's a mystery story, or maybe it's one of those, Disney epic adventures, is it an epic tale that you're going to have? Some people might want it to be a complete comedy or a romantic comedy. Do you know what I mean? The thing is that we get to choose. We get to choose the genre of our movie, the genre of our life. But the thing to realise is don't choose easy, because you won't stick it. It's not fulfilling. It's not engaging. It's not exciting. At the end of the day, it's not what we want. So it's about, when we're thinking about this whole worthy ideal on that, it's like, what do you want your life to be? Decide on what you want it to be. And there's your first of 3 steps.
I love that. Adventure comedy.
Adventure comedy. There you go.
Yep. A little romance mixed in there.
Who doesn't love a bit of romance? I don't know. I'm your quintessential white picket fence, knight in shining armour, and I must have the worst romantic husband in the world. God love him.
At least he's intuitive.
He's very intuitive. He's very intuitive, and he knows to give me a kiss on the cheek and then leave me alone while I'm watching my Bachelor or those other things.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, no, that's really fun. That's really fun. I love thinking of it this way. So that would be that would be like the brainstorming to rewrite your story is just figure out what you like. Would you be comfortable sharing your juicy, ideal, progressive? Yeah.
How about we'll come to that. So my progressive, let me see, I'll tell you what. You know what? I've got my laptop on the top of my, where I've got it written that I look at every day. So I just move my laptop around here. Oh, here it is. No, you know what? I won't do that one. I have a couple of things here. But I'll tell you what, my genre, let me share with you my genre while I go and grab my journal, which I have some things written in. And my genre for my life is to be an exciting, or should I say, is to be an epic adventure. That's what it is for me, an epic adventure with and I think of, when I wrote this out for me, I actually wrote out like a whole page on like what sort of style I wanted in there. And I wanted the things like I love the Born Identity series. Not that I like the violence in them, but I love the action and the things that happen in there. But I also love the, going out in the wilderness and the things that make things tough. I like a little bit of comedy. I like to have those belly laughs. So, it's those moments where you get, I'll tell you one of my favourite movies that I wrote in the thing was Red. I don't know if you guys have seen Red. I don't know if it's Red. Red 2. It's got Bruce Willis, Helen Mirren. Great movie. It's kind of like I don't know if I'm feeling my age or something, but it's got the older actors coming in and they're the ex-CIA agents.
I saw that. I love that.
Kind of vein that I want as a genre for my movie, because it's got the action, it's got excitement, it's got travel, and it has the one-liners that just have you in hysterics. That's the story of that's the genre of my life. I always remember thinking, like I used to do trainings with the seminars and that, and we used to train, my husband's just come home, sorry. And we used to train crew, and we'd be 100 crew at a time. And one of them said to me, the owner of the company, she said, "Terriane, you are so funny." And I never thought of myself as being funny. I said, "What do you mean?" I said, "I'm not funny." And she said, "I'm going to record your faces that you pull sometimes, because we've been training." Like, I don't know, when you do, if anyone's been to like Tony Robbins, like they know a Tony Robbins event and that. Well, I used to run the back end prior to being a trainer up on stage like Tony was. I used to run all the back end and the sales and all the crew that make those events happen. And you'd have a certain amount of time that you'd be doing these trainings, and you'd have your earpieces in and say, "Oh, heck, he's going to break now. Quick, everyone's got to man the tables." And so I'd have these, I'd be talking to the crew, and I'd have these voices in my ear, and it'd be like, oh, and my face apparently would tell the story. And he said the crew would just be in hysterics. And I'd be going, what I do? I have no idea when they do it. And so I said, "Do you have any idea how funny you can be?" I said, "I'm not funny. I haven't got a funny bone in my body." And then they kind of showed me some of the footage, and I just went, I was more embarrassed than anything else, going, "Oh my God, I can't believe I look like that." But, I kind of look at that and go, oh, it's not forced. It's just me being me. Yeah. So that's what I go for as far as my genre goes and where I'm going there. Yeah. Does that make sense?
Awesome. I love that. Yeah, I always say I could never be a news reporter because of my facial expressions. Like, facial expression, and they just sit there and anyway.
And so so once we've got the genre, I'm going to jump in. The next thing you need to know is the people.
Yes.
So you've got the people. So most women entrepreneurs are playing the role of the actress, where they're being dictated to by everybody else. The director is the person who tells the actress what to do, okay? And that's kind of like your unconscious mind. It's your thoughts, your behaviors, your actions. It's based on your inner values, your conditioning. And it's the one that's responsible for the results that you're getting in your life right now, okay? So what you want to do is the good stories are the ones where you can take yourself out of being the actress and put yourself in the director's chair. That's where you want to put yourself, okay? And that's a really key part. Stop being the actress, get yourself into the director's chair where you are controlling what happens in the story.
Yeah, you get to make the choice, call the shots.
100%.
You don't, you make it happen.
That's it. You're the final line. You tell them what to edit out. You tell them, like as you tell that conscious mind what you're editing out, what you're keeping in, and what you're letting go of. You're the one who directs everything in. So that's where you've got to go. That's where you've got to get yourself to be. Make sense?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Very good. I love that. So makes so much sense because, I mean, I always say, yeah, you become director of your life because you have the choice. But it's that other stuff that's talking at you, that subconscious actor, actress, whatever, that that is getting in the way. And so you just bridged the gap there by saying, you tell it, that's, I don't need you anymore. I'm doing this anyway. So I like the way you explain that. That's good.
Yeah.
Exactly. Very good.
So how do you get there? So how do you move from, because now you've got this sort of gap, how do you move from actress to director? And here's the other thing, which I know with women entrepreneurs, is that they're very good at playing both roles simultaneously. So I don't know about you guys. Okay, I'm a mum here, or I'm the businesswoman here. All of a sudden, no, I'm working on the business here now. I want this to happen. And then, oh, no, I'm doing this. And they jump between the two roles. And, if I look at it, most women, or there's a lot of women out there who are very capable at playing both roles, the director and the actor, because they're the ones that are doing everything themselves. They're the ones that are, often get described as being very capable at what they do. They wear multiple hats simultaneously, and they often are the ones that think that they're doing a good job. But I say to them, well, how can you be in the movie and direct the movie at the same time? And this is a common problem with women entrepreneurs, because whilst it is possible to do both roles, it's impossible to do both roles well. And that's the key distinction here, is doing it well. So if you think about your present life at the moment as you as the actress in the present moment. So right now, most people with the results they're getting in their life, they are the actress. The director knows where they want to take you. So what do we do to bridge that gap? Well, we need to use our God-given creative faculties, our imagination here. We need to take charge of the movie. And the problem that we've got is I like to think of it as a triangle, because a triangle is one of the strongest structures, yeah? So we've got actress, we've got director. We need this person up here who has perspective about what's going on. They can see the future direction that the director wants to take them in. They know where the actress is right now. So we need to introduce a third person, which every good movie needs, and that third person is the hero.
The hero.
If you think about it, every good movie's got a hero, right? Or heroine.
Yeah.
I like to say, it doesn't come out right when I say that, so I'm going to stick with hero. It sounds funny in my accent. Yep.
Yeah, okay, go ahead. I'll ask my question when you're done. Go ahead.
All right, so if we think about it, the actor's where we are now, it's who we are now. Director's the voices in our head, it's like our collective consciousness. The hero is who you can be. It's whoever you want to be. It's your unlimited potential. Because if we think about it, think about the movies. When the hero falls down or gets shot, do they end the movie then and there? Not really. There's a couple movies, and I must admit, whenever I get to the end of them where they do that, I'm like, I don't like that. I don't like not having a happy ending. Remember, I'm the fairy tale person. The movie Everest was like that. I was like, that was such a good movie, and I so don't ever want to watch it again because it was so sad at the end. Spoiler alert. So the hero, whenever they get knocked down, they get back up again. The hero always gets back up again. The hero always manages to find a way around the sticky situation. And, Bond movies are the best when you think about heroes who can continually keep getting up or continually keep, no matter what they're faced with, they find a way out of it. They find a way around it. They always manage to move forward. So what you want to think about now is if you are now the hero in your movie, so you're not the actress, you're not the director, but you're the hero, what are the characteristics of that hero? So what are the characteristics of that person, that hero who's in that story, in that genre that you've picked, the action comedy, the romantic, whatever it is for you, what are the characteristics of that person? And then that's who you need to show up as each and every day.
Love that. Okay. I'm gonna have to work on this. I can see why it would take
9 months. It took me.
9 months. Yeah, no, I can see why. Because, well, first of all, it's fun. This is a fun, super fun activity. But it's like that. The hero has the bigger vision, and so every day we should be taking ourselves up there to that bigger vision hero space and looking at what's going on and where we want to be and why we're not there and what do we need to do.
As you're crafting your worthy ideal, the progressive realization of your worthy ideal, if you're being the hero, so if you're like, these are the characteristics of my hero, this is who I am committing to show up as every day, then that ideal will be shown to you. You'll be shown intuitively the next steps that you need to take to live that ideal, to live on purpose, to find that pathway for you. And it's about being, like I imagine most of the people who are connected to you on the show, they all know it's in the being that makes the difference. It's who you're committing to show up as every day. And even if you aren't there yet, it's about committing, I am this person, and saying it enough times to yourself. Bob Proctor has a saying, if you tell yourself a lie enough times, you'll eventually believe it. So make it a good lie. So make it a characteristic. You might not own it yet, but take ownership of it.
And it's true. I mean, it works. I've done that myself. You can visualize, but pretty soon it becomes reality. It becomes your reality. You kind of, I don't know how to say it. You think about something and you think about yourself in that vision, and pretty soon, because you're already up there where you're thinking you want to be, you're already becoming that person. So it's a lot easier to close that gap, I guess, if you're doing this kind of work. That's right?
100%.
Yeah. This is so fun. I love this. And did you have anything else before you want to share your free gift with us?
Well, so probably just to sum it up then. So 3 things that you need to create your ideal life. Decide. Decision is such an important factor. Decide your story is worth writing. It's worth creating. That's the first thing. Discover what your worthy ideal is, and don't judge it. Just let it unfold. It's about remembering who you are. Discover your worthy ideal. And the third point is know who the hero is in your story and commit to show up every day as that person. That's it.
That's me.
I don't know if you can see the picture in the background there. That's rigging. That's a sport that I used to do 10 years ago now. God, time has gone. And that picture was taken at the back of Hilton on one of our international races, and we broke the world record. We overtook all the men's crews. We did some amazing, phenomenal stuff. And it's a time in my life that, I used to train 10 times a week doing this sort of training. I used to get up at 3:30 in the morning, drive an hour and a half to training, train for 2 hours, come back and start work at 9 o'clock in the morning. So it was a time in my life that I was 100% committed to what I do. So I have it sitting above my desk to remind me of the things that I'm capable of achieving when I want to go after them, and committing, and what I'm committed to do to show up as the person that I want to be, to get the results that I want in my life. So, I put things around my office to remind me of the, it sounds really, sometimes when it comes out of my mouth, I go, that's so waffly, but of the unlimited potential that we are. But it's the truth. There's a lot of truth to it. And I suppose the last thing before we share the gift with everyone is one of my most favourite quotes, should I say, is Will Smith out of the Pursuit of Happiness. Is, if you want something, go get it. Period.
Period. That's it.
That's it.
Yeah. Because you can, because we can. Because who says we can't?
That's it.
Our brain.
That's
it, right?
I've got nothing else to say. You know, that's it.
No. It's powerful stuff. I mean, it sounds, you know, like you said, waffly or, you know, foo-foo or whatever, but it's powerful stuff because we are way more powerful than we know we are.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's really fun to experiment with life. It's fun to manifest things. It's fun to just become who you want to become and go, oh, okay, what else can I do? You know?
That's it. That's it. Yeah. 100%. 100%.
I love this. Thank you so much for these tips. This is really good. I wrote pages of Maggie, did you have any questions?
She muted.
Now, can you hear me?
No, I can't hear you.
Garbled?
Oh, there you go.
Is it clear? Okay, I'm good.
No,
this was very enlightening. This was it brought something for me to think about a little bit more when it comes to why things are the way they are, or why certain things happen to you. So so you're very good, very good. I really like it. So if you had because going back to your dance, because I know a lot of us want to do things and then we say we don't want to take that path because either somebody said, no, you can't do that, or something like that. So did you just need one person to say yes for you to say, oh, I want to go dance? Did you need that one person? Or you just...
For me, back then, when I was 18 years old, and, you know, there's a bit more background to my story. Like, I was on my own. My father passed away when I was 12, and my mum left me when I was 16.
Oh, wow.
So I put myself through high school.
Wow.
So I was doing this dancing. I worked 4 nights a week at a restaurant so I could go to high school, so I could even sit for university to be able to apply to university. And I was doing the dancing on the side. So there was a lot to that story. You know, there's a bit more to the story, so to speak. But for me, because I had so much on my plate, like, and this is why I say everyone's got a story. Everybody's got a story there.
Yes.
Was I needed, back then at 18 years old, I needed just one person to believe in me, for me to go against the norm and go after my dreams. And I didn't have that one person. Now I try and empower all my clients. You don't need anybody else. You just need to have that vision. And if you need someone right now, I'll be that person for you.
Yes.
That's kind of now. So you don't need anyone. You just need to have it, because that's when you'll get your supporters, is when you believe in it 100%.
Yes.
But if it, you know, on you need to you getting to that place, if you need that one person, then I'll be that person.
Okay. Yes.
No, that's great. I could see definitely how you're a very empowering coach. I can see that your clients would get amazing results.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you.
Yes.
I love what I do.
It's really,
I love this is my winning ideal. I love it.
Yes. Winning ideal.
so much fun. I mean, it's just talking about how people can an easy path that's so clear to get to where you want to go, and helping people along that is just, I think, magical.
It's the most rewarding work. You know, people ask me, why do you do what we do? I said, it's the most rewarding work you can ever do in your lifetime. I said,
most definitely.
I used to have an image consulting company. This is what got me into this. And, you know, I'd work on a person's style and I'd do their image and stuff. And it was the light, like when you see somebody come in to my studio and they didn't like who they looked in the mirror, you know, they didn't like the picture looking back, the reflection in the mirror. And when they left and there was just a light that would glow out of their eyes, that was what started my journey. I was like, it's priceless. You can't pay people to get that. And that feeling, it's like you give me so much by seeing that light shine out of your eyes when they look at themselves and see what I see, which is, you know, it's that beautiful light of who they are. And Yeah, you almost can't describe it. It's just my husband says it's the yum yum place.
No, that's great. Yeah, no, it's because they have the confidence, because they believe in themselves, because they perceive themselves differently. All here, up here.
100%. 100%. So I hope you got lots today. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, we enjoyed you.
Yeah, no, this is really great.
Your crew.
Thank you so much. And tell us about your free gift.
Right, so what I wanted to do for everybody on the call is there is, I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but Earl Nightingale wrote a book called The Strangest Secret. I didn't write a book, actually. He recorded an audio called The Strangest Secret. And in it, it sold 1 million copies. This is back in 1960. Which is massive for back then as a record. But The Strangest Secret basically sums up everything that we've talked about here today about getting your progressive realization of a worthy ideal. It sums up how to do that, how to get that point across. It sums up what to do with your goals. It gives you a 30-day action plan. So as I was thinking about what can I give your audiences and the wonderful women who listen to the show, what can I give them that's really something of massive value to get them to step up? So what I did was I recorded that. I couldn't find the original version, so I recorded that book. And I have to tell you, when I do my recordings, to get the sound in that, I go and sit in my wardrobe. I thought it was only going to be 20 minutes, but it's actually a 38 minutes audio recording. So I'm sitting on the floor of my wardrobe to make sure that it's got nice sound with it. And I recorded that whole audio for the listeners so that they can download it all, so they can download it to their iPods, they can put it on their iPhones, they can listen to it on the computer however they like. All they need to do is download that, and what I recommend to them is download it and listen to it every day for 30 days. I guarantee, even if they just listen to the audio recording, put it in the car, put it in the ears when they're going for their walk or for your exercise or whatever it happens to be, but make a commitment to listen to it every day for 30 days, and I guarantee the results will change dramatically. 100% guaranteed.
Maggie?
I'm up.
You up for it?
I am up for it.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
We're challenged.
We're
30 days.
Okay. We're being about it. So you're going to let me know on Facebook, like on the page we're going to give to you. Or I don't know if you want me to give it to them or if you want to give it to them. But when they download it, my Facebook page is there. I want to know how you're going with it. I want to know, anyone who's got any struggles or any questions as they're going through it. Make sure you ask me, connect with me, let me know, because this is what I do because I love it. So let me do what I love to do.
Yeah, no, this is great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the link to the Empowered Living. I think there we go. And what's your Facebook
there it is.
link?
So if you go official Terriane Palmer.
Just on you. Okay.
You go official Terriane Palmer. Do you want me to pop that in there?
Oh, I got it. Wait, I just didn't. Where was it? Where did it go? Terriane. Ah. I saw it. Here we go. Entrepreneur, right? There we go. Official Terriane. Okay.
Where is it?
Got it.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
There we go.
Official Terriane. Okay.
Okay. And I'll put that also, Terriane, I'll put that in the file with the gift download, and I'll just give a couple instructions to make sure and follow up with you on, and let's see if we can get some people to do this challenge with this, Maggie. Okay.
I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah.
So this
is I'm up for it. I mean, I have time. I commute off. We live out in the middle of nowhere, so I'm always
in the middle of nowhere
on my iPod wherever I'm going. So. Yeah. So this is great. And you said it's about 38 minutes? Okay, perfect. Perfect. All righty. So Maggie, you and I are going to talk afterwards, and we'll figure out a way to do this challenge with some more people to get you some more feedback on it. I'm excited.
I'd love to hear the success stories that you're going to share with me along the way.
Okay.
Yes, no, I'm excited. Thank you so much. I mean, really, thank you for all these tips and for getting up. Is it early in the morning?
No, it's middle of the day. It's midday here, so the time right. Your timing was absolutely perfect.
So it's Wednesday there. Is it Wednesday? Is it Wednesday?
Wednesday, yeah, Wednesday midday here. So, which is great because normally I have 2 calls either at 6 in the morning or sometimes I'll get up and do them at 3 o'clock in the morning. So, you know, which I don't, to be honest, I don't mind because time to me is, you know, irrelevant.
Yeah.
I work from home, so
that's great.
Yeah, I'll do whatever it takes to make sure, you know, like I said, I'll do whatever it takes. I live by my worthy ideal.
Yes, you do.
I love that. No, it just really, really reinforces. And like I said, it's so much better than.
Yes, I know.
It's so much better. Thank you so much for being here, both of you. Both of you, thank you. Thank you very much. And this recording will be on YouTube, so I'll give you a copy.
Wonderful. And thank you so much for having me on the show. It's been an absolute joy and pleasure. So, yeah, love it.
Yes, we'll do
it again. Absolutely, 100%.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
All right, bye.
Okay.